Yes, so TargetFish, we're 30 partners and 6 million euros from the European Commission, has been one of the largest European projects targeting fish vaccination.
With regard to TargetFish, we focused on a number of species. This included Atlantic salmon, rainbow trout, carp, sea bass and sea bream, and turbot as well.
Because there are so many partners within it and from such a broad spectrum of interests. There are farmers within, there are, like me, people that actually represent the farmers. There are universities, there are pharmaceutical companies and so on.
There are always new diseases on the horizon, and for those we still need to develop effective vaccines. However, even for some of the diseases that have been with us for a while, improvements can always be made. Part of the TargetFish ethos was to help develop new vaccines on the one hand, but make existing vaccines that are not completely efficacious even better.
TargetFish was a very successful project because it ended up with the production of prototypes for different vaccines, and on the other side, technology development. And one of these technologies was the Rossi vaccination machine.
And if you think of aquaculture in the future, it should be sustainable. And vaccination is a sustainable method of preventing diseases. So definitely a way to go forward for the future.
Yeah, the commercial partners have a different role in TargetFish because they are also from different types of industries. So we have both fish farming organizations, and of course they are very much involved in order to make sure that we do something that is really, at least in long term, useful for them, what they want. So they can kind of tell us, okay, these diseases are really the ones that we would like to have something to counteract. Then we have some commercial partners that are more like small companies that have specialized in different technologies. And they are involved because we want them to help us develop these vaccines at a level where they can be commercialized. So using technology that is kind of available on the commercial side by such companies, it kind of makes it more straightforward to go ahead once we know how to design the vaccine.
We've had a number of industry forums where we get the academic partners who have been doing the development work to put their stall out for industry. And that's been very, very successful. There are a number of new vaccines that have been developed under the umbrella of the project, which commercial companies are now looking at to take forward.
The important thing of TargetFish is that it also introduced some groups working in immunology. And the point is that you cannot really optimize vaccines without knowing how the immune system works and how the immune system is triggered effectively to combat a certain disease. This is the important part of TargetFish, that the vaccines are optimized from an immune point of view to be like the most effective that they can be.
Well, personally, from my perspective as a postdoctoral scientist and quite relatively early in my career, it was a fantastic opportunity to meet the top scientists in the field and to network with them, because you know, in science sometimes things don't work. We have to try plan B, and you have discussions then, not just between yourselves, then you can have discussions between other groups of scientists as to how you might approach plan B.
I guess there's two different sections to it. There's the fundamental or the basic science, and then the applied side. And we've made achievements in both these areas for the whole project. From the fundamental side, a lot of the mechanisms of how these vaccines work and how adjuvants work, looking at mucosal immunity, this is all new information that we've managed to provide for the scientific community. And also the different strategies of how to vaccinate the fish. Come to the applied side, new products have been developed, and these can be used in the industry once they're taken forward to commercialisation.
The collaborations across Europe have been really fantastic. It gives you access to the like-minded scientists that you're able to interact with and get joint projects going, as well as the pool of incredibly talented students and postdocs that are out there within the network. We collaborate at many levels, both intellectually but also with exchanges of scientists between laboratories, and even co-access to facilities, some of the aquarium facilities, some of the fish farms even that are available in some countries rather than others. So there are tremendous opportunities with such a big network.
One of the benefits of having a really good cooperation with the scientists is we go to them, we explain them what the problem are, and if the cooperation are good, they understand what the problem really are, and then they take it into the lab, maybe making another way around it, and then they come back and say, okay, now we have tested it, maybe you should do it like this, and then the farmers are actually trying this. And the only way this is actually going to work is a matter of trust. That the farmers have to believe that the scientists are skilled and they actually know what they are talking about, not just sitting behind the desk all the time, but also knows and understand what fish farming is.
We've not only been challenging fish, we've also been challenging ourselves by trying to get the industry and the scientists, partners, working closely together.
And we have also used this information of effective vaccines to really advance our knowledge on how the immune system works, and this will allow us to optimize new vaccines in the future.
I think the partners have worked so well together in TargetFish, it's cemented a much longer term relationship. So we've got 2 or 3 institutes working together, and I think that will continue. And of course the enthusiasm of actually having products and coming out of this is really encouraging this going on. And also it's driven by the industry, because as I think I said earlier on, vaccines have had such a profound effect on fish farming. It's probably more reduction in use of antibiotics in fish than any other field of animal production.
So that's been unique about TargetFish, and also our effort to address people, not only scientists through scientific publications and presentations, but especially also vaccine industry and fish farming companies, about our efforts to improve vaccines for aquaculture.